And here were the Clippers arriving earlier, getting mentally prepared to go to work on the road. And the game arrivals sponsored by Express. Dress like a pro. There it is, maybe the most famous building in all of Texas. It's the Alamo, of course, here in San Antonio. Welcome and happy holidays from 2K Sports. It's time for NBA action. Kevin Harlan here, and I'm joined by Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with David Aldridge on our sideline. DA, take it away.
Well, guys, DeMar DeRozan is a prolific scorer, but he's also a dangerous drive and kick weapon. He said, "I never pay attention to the defender guarding me. I look at the four guys behind him and how they react. A lot of times I don't even look to score. I draw 3 or 4 guys and get my teammates open shots." Kevin?
Great vision, David. Thank you. And let's check out a breakdown. Looking at some stats for Williams.
And he's gone dry over the past 10 games, guys. His scoring is way down, and he can't seem to fight his way out of the slump. He better get it going tonight, or they'll start losing patience with him.
Here are the starters for Los Angeles. Patrick Beverley out there with Paul George. Then there's Mo Harkless. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Zubac in at center. And for San Antonio, you've got Derek White. Lyles out there with LaMarcus Aldridge. Then it's DeRozan, and it's Forbes in at the 2-guard spot. How great the Clippers signing of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the grand finale of the wildest summer in NBA free agent history.
A ton of big moves. You think of the star players who've changed teams, 1/3 of the league's all-NBA selections, and 5 out of 10 of the reigning all-star starters. In the end, we saw 7 players who've changed teams, signing for over $100 million each. Put that in perspective, only 8 players had ever done that in league history.
The Spurs shooting their first free throws of the game.
Yeah, pretty good numbers on the season when you look at their free throw attempts, right around 78%.
You know, the numbers from the line, guys, are close to where they were last year, but just a tad worse, so not too bad.
And that one falls for White. Conference rivals in this one, Clark. Does that matter as much as people think, or is it just another game?
I still think it matters to the players. I mean, they're a little less emotional now, rivalries. They're not as heated, a little more practical. I think it's mostly about making the playoffs and where you're seated.
And both free throws good for White. A 29th pick in 2017 by the Spurs. Their injuries last year created an opportunity for Derek White to show Greg what he can do with steady minutes.
And White at 6'4", capable of manning either guard spot, a shooter, a playmaker, and an all-defensive team in college. He is definitely a keeper.
George with the bucket.
And George is very capable at knocking down difficult shots. I mean, because of his size and stroke and ball handling and his added strength, he's able to shoot over good defense and knock them down.
There's the pass to Lyles. 5 to shoot. Here's Aldridge. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
Aldridge is too strong to let a little bit of contact bother him. I actually think he likes those tough shots.
And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. Outside Leonard. To the left wing. Beverley for 3. And he's good on the 3 ball.
Beverley looking to score as soon as he gets the ball now, so you can't give him any room.
Got a piece of it. Leonard with the steal. And now running up the court. Leonard pushing it up. That shot, no good. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
And the bench turned up in that one. Whatever they couldn't get from their starters, they got from the reserves.
Well, you know, you hear about the importance of having depth all the time, bench players that contribute. In last game, their bench came alive.
For San Antonio, they have gone 2 for 2 in the game at the line. That's good from Forbes.
How about this for Brent Forbes? Undrafted. He's come a long way. Quietly, he's one of the best three-point shooters in the game.
Williams, he's checked in for Los Angeles. He's perfect from the line this time.
He's as solid as it gets from the line. I mean, give him the opportunity. He's cashing in on those.
13 feet away. And that one hits back iron. And a fast break now for the Spurs. He doesn't hit that one. The Clippers go the other way with it. Tough loss coming against the Rockets in the last game they played.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough when you've been kind of put back on your heels and you're trying to protect the lead, and then in this case you lose it, and that's one that they definitely should have won.
And the officials calling for a 3-second violation.
Looking here, it's the numbers for White. His last 10 games, putting up about 10 points a night, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. And there isn't much to write home about with his numbers. I think he'd like to up his contributions.
Yeah, but you got to earn that chance. I mean, you get what you earn. His numbers are fine, but he's not going to get a lot more floor time unless he turns it up a notch.
Here's Zubac. Poked away and stolen by White. And the layup's good off the glass.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Now here's Williams. With an average of around 19.5 points a game, his scoring has been a constant for them.
Boy, the quick first step of Williams gets him in position for the teardrop.
And White kicks to Aldridge. White looking around. Outside Aldridge. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shoots from 8. It's hauled in by Zubac.
Now, there's an example of good defense beating good offense.
Pass to George. Zubac finds George. Goes up again, and it's good on the layup. George has got his second basket.
Yeah, solid work on the offensive glass by Paul George, squeezing the orange and giving them another chance at points.
Now here's White, defended by Harkless. And it's White missing.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense. Well, I admire the fact he's trying to power through this rough stretch, but on occasion you'll have periods like this.
And he found the soft spot in the D on that possession.
Now here's Williams. Pass to Leonard. And that one is off. Nice D from DeRozan. Here's White. He's coming off a 13-point game against Brooklyn. It's in. That's his third field goal of the game. He's 3 for 5.
Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
Williams passes to Leonard. Shoots over White. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him.
And we've seen several lead changes tonight, neither team giving an inch.
Yeah, and the lead has changed hands, and it just hasn't stayed in those hands very long when it's changed. Back and forth we go.
Now, here's DeRozan. 12 points his last outing. A second chance effort. And Lyles with the lay-in. 8 lead changes now, and we're still just in the first half.
And I'm not sure I've seen a game with more lead changes this early.
George with the ball. Picked up by Aldridge. Leonard kicks to Harkless. George with the ball. He's coming off a 34-point game against Houston.
Yeah, but he was also a force on the defensive side. 2 block shots and also altered a ton of shots.
And so it's DeRozan. He'll bring it up for San Antonio. Passes it to Lyles. And he uses the glass on the layup. Lyles got his second bucket tonight.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm. They need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Goes up the baseline, and it's good off the back rim and in.
Yeah, and from mid-range, Leonard's jump shot is money. It doesn't matter if it's off the dribble or catch and shoot. He never loses his touch.
Here's White, and the rejection by Zubac. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. And some changes here for the Spurs. Gay comes in for Lyles. And it's DeJounte Murray in for White. And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Harrell's checked in. Knocked loose. Leonard with the steal. And then Leonard with the dunk.
And he moves so well. When Leonard drives the lane, it's pretty much a guaranteed bucket. Terrific body control, and he plays with the ultimate force.
Now here's Gay. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game. Aldridge trying to break free. DeRozan's shot is off. The Clippers have gone 8 of 15 from the field, shooting above 50% here tonight. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Gay. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out west. Already we're in December. You look at the Clippers. They're sitting pretty, second place, and looking to take the top spot. And, of course, there's the Spurs. Quite a few spots down the ladder right now.
And, you know, right now for San Antonio, they're one of those teams that hasn't quite figured it out this year. A lot of talent, a lot of heart, but nothing to put them up on that next level.
You know, it's really hard to figure out exactly what's been missing, but there is something missing that perhaps could be the system they're playing in.
And some changes here for the Spurs. Pirtle, he's checked in for Aldridge. Damari Carroll comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Bellinelli in for Bryn Forbes. Now Murray. He's coming off a 13-point game against Brooklyn.
Boy, I thought his passing was absolutely fantastic. I mean, really picked apart the defense all game long.
And there's the call on Montrezl Harrell. That is his first foul of the game. Here's Bellinelli. Rebound by Harrell. Now the pass to Gay. With a break in the action, let's take a peek at the real stats, real scores from the real NBA. And the top rebounding teams in the league this season. The Clippers in second.
You know, it's not necessarily a glamour stat, but make no mistake, their top-notch board work has been a huge key to their success.
And free throw good from Gay. A lot of guys like to shoot off the dribble, but Clark, there are some that really are better at it, shooting off that catch in the NBA.
Yeah, and who do you have in mind, Kevin? I got a couple of names that I'm thinking about. What about you?
Well, I'm thinking Klay Thompson because that backcourt is so prolific, and he's been so great at that, and that's kind of been his trademark.
Yeah, it has been. Redick would be another guy.
Yes, another good
that I think that would come to mind. And even though he's later in his career now, but Kyle Korver, one of the very best we've had in the league at shooting off the catch.
Now, here's Shamet. He's coming off a 13-point game against Houston. Gay with no one around. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Gay's got 5 points so far.
You know, we know Murray's got some creativity to his passing game, but no need to be creative there. I mean, he sees the wide open man and zips it right to him.
Now here's Harrell. He's coming off a 19-point game against Houston.
And he was relentless in that one. I mean, he wanted to be the first to every rebound and almost was.
For San Antonio, they've gone 7 of 15 from the field to this point. Murray kicks to Pirtle. And here is Murray. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. The shot by Carroll, no good.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard.
And a trend they'd love to continue right through the next 3 quarters as well, Greg.
Lets a floater go. Basket counts. And the Spurs lead by 4.
Boy, you look at DeJounte Murray, and I tell you what, he's long, he's fast, he has great instincts. He's a real challenge for defenders.
Here's Mann. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. And so it's Murray with it. He brings it up for San Antonio. Pass to Pirtle. Now here's Carroll. He's guarded closely. Shot clock at 5. Lets it fly. Green with the rebound. LA's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Harrell. And Harrell slams it in.
Man, what a pass that was there. He really, really relishes making the game easier for his teammates.
Murray kicks to Pirtle. The dish to Carroll. Gallinelli trying to break loose. The shot by Carroll, no good.
Yeah, he just flat out tricked that one, missed it, and has no one to blame but himself.
Here's Magruder, and denied. He sends it right off the glass. A floater. It's hauled in by the Clippers. 1:11 left to play in the first quarter. Man, he's covered by Murray. Green kicks to Harrell. From deep. And that's collected by Gay. So it's the Spurs now. 40 seconds left here in the first quarter. On the wing, Gallinelli. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession.
You know, I think he may have forced that pass when there was really no reason to.
San Antonio making a switch here. Mills is checked in. .27 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Shamet. Looking at his numbers, he averages a bit over 9 points a game. Pass to Green. Inside. Harrell kicks to Shamet. Here's the 3. And Pirtle pulls it down. And here's Mills from the arc. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. Tie game in San Antonio. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me in my darkest days. I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine. So.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Spurs?
aggressive at running guys to the backboard. You could tell it was part of their game plan coming in.
Yeah, and when a team establishes an edge on the glass early, it really sets things up for the rest of the game.
There's a point with Bellinelli. They're the backcourt. Jakob Poeltl up there with Rudy Gay, and it's Carroll in at the small forward position. And that's who's in the game for the Spurs. The Spurs shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight. And that drops, so they now lead by 1. Mark, you and I are sitting here watching this game, broadcasting the game. There are a lot of times that the fans can't see how emotionally charged up you are over some of the things you see on the floor, good and bad.
Hey, I love great basketball. Excellent passing, tremendous hustle, creativity on your moves. One of the things that really excites me, though, is to see the ball pop and end up in a three-point shooter's hands, and he's able to knock one down because the crowd is able to follow that ball, and the anticipation just kind of rises as it gets to the designated shooter. I love guys going after rebounds on the offensive glass.
That's a great example about the three-point shot, though, Clark. I love that. That's terrific. Here's Magruder. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Carroll against Beverly. We've played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Bellinelli passes to Gay. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. They'll be off to Oklahoma City for a meeting with the Thunder after this one. That matchup falls in the middle game of this three-game trip.
It all started with the pass. That's what coaches love to see, ball movement.
And so it's Mills who will bring it up for the San Antonio Spurs. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Gay scanning the floor. Over Hero. Here's Carroll. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It's going to be on Montrezl Harrell.
Because Carroll is such an aggressive and high-energy offensive player, that's why he gets these calls. And, the Spurs are never afraid to play to the tune of their own drummer. I mean, just as the rest of the league embraces threes and layups, the Spurs going against that grain, leading the league in mid-range shots and post-ups.
And he makes the first. You were talking about the mid-range and the post-ups. Those are the strengths of DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, Coach Popovich has been so successful for decades because he always adapts to the strengths of his players. Outstanding coaches do that in every sport. That shot diet might not work for most other teams, but if it fits the Spurs, they'll go old school and make it work for them.
Now, here's Shamet. It's stolen by Carroll. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by, passes to Poeltl. That shot missing. Great D that time from Harrell. For Los Angeles, they've gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. And Leonard gets it to go on the assist by Beverly. And it's 8 points for Kawhi Leonard.
And he's got the athleticism and strength to be a powerful presence inside. Leonard never afraid to get in and mix it up down low.
Now here's Mills. He picked up 27 points in their last win against Brooklyn. It's Gay with the drive, and it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. As we get a break in the action, let's take a peek at the team's scoring leaders. 5th, the Clippers.
And how about the year they've had offensively? This is a team that can put points on the board in a hurry. Always fun to watch them play.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Shots good by Mills.
You know, Mills has been a guy who's been very streaky as a perimeter shooter, but he's been good behind the arc his entire career.
Beverly with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against Houston.
And equally spent as much energy on his D. I mean, 4 steals kind of tell the story.
A 3 from Leonard. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Now, here's Bellinelli. He's covered by Shamet. And the pass to Kira. Back to Gay. Just 4 to shoot. From deep three-point range, it's hauled in by the Clippers.
You know, after making 1-3 in the first quarter, he's had none here so far in the second.
And he comes up with the deuce. And now it's a 3-point Clipper lead.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Now, here's Mills. They look to him for part of their offensive attack. Right now, he averages nearly 12 points a game.
Got to admire how fast Pirtle slashes to the rim after setting the screen.
Beverly dishes to Leonard. 20 feet out. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Lou Williams won 6th Man of the Year for the 3rd time last season. He joined Kevin McHale and Detlef Schrempf as the only players to win the award in consecutive seasons. And with the most career points ever scored off the bench, maybe they should just name this award after him. Kevin?
David, I'm all for it. Thank you so much. And boy, is he in good company. And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Well, Clark, midseason rumors now in full session. When a player requests a trade, how strongly do you think that affects team chemistry?
You know, Kevin, I'm all for players voicing their choice and actually having an opportunity to express themselves, but it can be detrimental if a player in the middle of a season makes it known that he's not interested in being there. It can have a terrible effect on team chemistry, in my opinion.
A different look now for San Antonio. LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for Jakob Poeltl. DeRozan comes in for Damari Carroll, and it's Bryn Forbes in for Bellinelli. George is checked in for Los Angeles. Williams comes in for Landry Shamet. Here is Forbes. Pass to DeRozan. Over George. That one's good, and the Clipper lead is cut down to 1 in the bucket from DeRozan.
Boy, nice job that time, guys, from Forbes, spotting the wide-open man and dropping the dime.
It's stolen by DeRozan. Gay passes to Mills. Gay trying to break free. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Spurs.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
The Spurs making a switch here. Lyles checked in. Free throw good. Mills. A superstar summer, Greg, for the Los Angeles Clippers in Kawhi Leonard and in Paul George. Greg, they have 2 elite wings, great defenders in their prime.
Give them credit, but also Kawhi Leonard pushing the levers behind the scenes. He wanted another superstar to join him in recruiting Paul George, who still had 2 years left on his deal in OKC. Kawhi took unprecedented control of his free agent destiny.
Now, here's Mills. Kawhi Leonard unable to get his shot to go. And it's sent back by Leonard.
And a sensational individual defender. Leonard will lock you down. Rejections are just part of the package he brings on the defensive end.
Now, here's DeRozan. Looking at the numbers, he's averaging about 20.5 points a game. Back to Lyles. Pass to Forbes. Just 5 to shoot. Here's DeRozan. Again, the miss by the Spurs.
Fantastic positioning there to contest that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he challenged the shot, and you can see the effects on the release of that shot. I mean, it turned a simple jumper into a tough one.
Bounce pass Mills. Here's Aldridge. Great D that time from Harrell.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
And you know what, Kevin? As a defender, you think maybe you can intimidate Williams. Wrong. No way.
Here's Mills, following the score by Lou Williams. Outside Leonard. Knocked away. Lyles against George. Here's Leonard. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And maybe the biggest story of this summer, where would Kawhi Leonard be headed in free agency? A player of his caliber commands that kind of media scrutiny.
And the first one at the line is good. Greg, you talk about the media focus for Kawhi Leonard. Not exactly something he embraces.
Not at all. As a kid on his birthdays, he'd shutter himself in his room because he didn't want the attention. To this day, he lets his play do the talking.
DeJounte Murray, he's checked in for Patty Mills. That one misses.
You know, there are differing opinions as to who the best defensive player in the league is, but no matter what, Kawhi is always in the discussion.
And so Beverly will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. Well, you knew that Kawhi Leonard would be a huge name in the free agency market last summer, especially after winning his second Finals MVP.
And Kawhi let the pieces fall before making his decision. Was the last major free agent to choose where he was going to play. Ended up shaking up the NBA in the process by joining the Clippers.
And the first one drops. Clark, you were so prolific in so many areas of the game. Which part of basketball came the easiest for you?
I think the rebounding piece. I always had a knack for sniffing out missed shots and had the size and timing and hands to chase down rebounds. But that was probably the strength of my game and the most unique part of it at an early age. And then the ball handling. My dad was 6'4" in the 50s, which meant you pretty much played inside, and he drummed into my head and my heart. Make sure you can handle that ball. So from the time I started playing, I was dribbling and making sure I could handle it, and it served me well during my playing career.
But they get it back. Passes it to Murray. Harkless with the steal. Beverly against Murray. And it's Beverly missing. Spurs trail by 3. Murray outside. Outside Aldridge. On the wing, DeRozan. Just 5 on the clock. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got his 4th rebound in this one. Clippers moving the ball around. Harkless. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
And they're really getting more points at the free throw line here in the second quarter.
And Greg, definitely that's one of the reasons they're in front right now.
The Clippers have shot 75% at the line tonight, going 3 for 4.
Yeah, pretty good numbers on the season when you look at their free throw attempts, right around 78%.
And he knocks down the first one. White, he's checked in for the Spurs. That one misses, so he goes 1 for 2. Spurs trail by 4. Now Murray, outside White. And it's Lyles in the corner. Makes no mistake on the open jump shot. Lyles got 6 points.
That's a textbook example of how to move the ball. Boy, you got to love that action.
Nobody near Leonard. Off target from outside.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
The battle to a standstill on the boards has really been something to watch, and the game's not over yet. We'll see if one of these teams maintains more energy than the other going down the stretch.
Here's DeRozan. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Now here's Murray. And the shot is good. Murray's got his second bucket.
Murray showing you real poise that time, guys, converting on aggressive defense. The concentration, outstanding.
Now here's Leonard. He's coming off a 25-point game again.
Oh,
the power on that throwdown.
Goodness. And talk about putting some extra on it. That dunk was way over the top.
Close game or not, he's going to finish firm when he gets the space.
Well, I tell you what, guys, the young kids like to say, that's doing too much. That falls into that category. That was too much.
The Spurs have shot 10 of 11 at the line. Nice work so far for them. And the Clippers making a switch here. Magruder's checked in. And that one misses. Los Angeles has gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Man, White covering. Magruder kicks to Zubats. Nobody near Williams. They get it back. And DeRozan sends it back.
Anytime DeRozan can come up for the block, gets the whole team energized.
Clock at 6. Williams for 3. Got it. And he's now 3 for 5 from the field.
Boy, I like that quick trigger release, so smooth, even with the defender in his face. Williams knocks it down.
DeRozan passes to Murray. 1:31 left to play in the first half. A floater, and it's good on the way in. Murray's got 4 points now in the quarter.
You know, Murray's game is about putting the ball on the floor, moving without it when he doesn't have it, and driving and keeping pressure on the defense.
Now here's Harkless. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. Williams, that's good. And 1:01 left in the second quarter. Right side, DeRozan. Got a hand on it.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
Power down with both hands.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam.
really piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Now here's Murray. He has 6. And the basket for the 4th time from the field. He's a healthy 4 for 6.
You know, they give him the ball and let him quarterback the pick and roll, which speaks, I think, to how confident they are in Murray, guys.
Clippers leading by 5. Man passes to Zubac. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Magruder. Aldridge is covering. Magruder kicks to Williams. 5 on the clock. A reverse. San Antonio with the rebound. Lyles got 6 rebounds here tonight. For 3, Murray. And that shot was up in time, but doesn't go in. Kawhi Leonard has been on display for the LA Clippers. He has really delivered at the offensive end. He's torched them for 24 points so far. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks so much. Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
It's helping me out a lot. Just coming in the game relaxed, just with more intensity. I mean, my teammates are getting me involved on the offensive end. I'm playing great on defense. We just got to keep it up second half and not let it up.
Hey, Kawhi, thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to 2K Sports. Ernie Johnson alongside Shaquille O'Neal and the Jet, Kenny Smith. Let's get to it. Kawhi Leonard is having one of those nights. He ended up with 24 points, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Multiple times we saw the bench cheering him on in the first 2 quarters of this one. And taking a look at the Clippers, Kenny, what did you see out there?
Well, I like that they're aggressively going to the rack. That establishes an attitude, a certain toughness. They just need to stay committed to their game plan.
Shaq, let's get your thoughts on San Antonio.
Well, I love that they were forceful at their offensive end. They got the shots they wanted. They played aggressively and got to the line. A strong attacking mindset. I like it. We'll see if they bring the same attitude in the second half, though.
And that'll about do it as we get ready for the second half. Let's take you down to Kevin Harlan.
Shout out to my main man, Joel.
Joel, what up?
And after a fairly even first couple of quarters, the second half could turn out to be a great one as both teams try to gain an edge. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
He's done a fantastic job of finding open space to operate within the first few quarters.
You know what? It helped that they had a few guys with very hot hands on the perimeter, too.
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game it's been so far. Getting underway in the second half, here's the 5 for Doc Rivers. They've got Ivica Zubac. Markless is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Paul George, and it's Beverly in at the 5. Now here's Beverly. That one doesn't drop.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
And you know, guys, I love his fight and grit on the interior. I mean, he never lets a shot go uncontested.
There's the pass to Forbes. To the inside. Here's Aldridge. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Leonard's got 4 rebounds in this game.
Boy, the Spurs really like running through LaMarcus Aldridge in the post. I mean, that's an effective way to play offense, especially early before the defense gets set. He gets that deep position, and he puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
And here is Aldridge after Paul George getting his 3 to go. White. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. And with his skill level, sometimes the sheer strength and size of Aldridge goes overlooked.
Yeah, and he's not afraid or hesitant to play bully ball. I mean, on that block, he gets that body into you and leans into that sweet jump shot of his, and he can make you look bad.
First free throw is good.
Derek White played his first 3 years at Division III UC Colorado Springs. This guy ended up being the 29th pick in the 2017 draft out of Colorado. In his lone season with the Buffaloes, he was all Pac-12 first team and all defense.
And both free throws good for White. And coming out of high school, White's only scholarship offer was a partial one to Colorado Springs.
And you know what, guys? Sometimes rejection like that can actually fuel you to greater heights. It put a chip on his shoulder. He plays with an edge. He improved, transferred to the Pac-12 for his senior season, and really the rest is history. He's got a promising future as an NBA player in front of him. You know, he's not a knockdown shooter from there, but when you're that uncovered, you almost are forced to take it.
DeRozan passes to Aldridge. Good. And it's DeRozan picking up the assists. DeRozan's got 3 assists now in this one. And here's Beverly. He brings it up for the Clippers. 4-point game. Outside, George. And stolen by White. Lays it up and banks it in. White's got 12 points in the game.
No defensive pressure at all. I mean, that's not going to get it done against him.
And here's Beverly. Pass to Harkless. To the middle. Here's Zubac. That shot misses. So the Spurs will take it the other way.
And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half.
Forbes dishes to White. Pass to Wiles. 6 to shoot. For the tie, another one falls for San Antonio.
That's 3 of 4 here to start the half.
LA has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break. Beverly the pass to Leonard. And Derek White picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Rudy Gay's checked in for Trey Lyles. Harrell, he's checked in for the Clippers. Three minutes gone now in the third quarter. Outside, George. They could use a bucket. And the Clippers miss again.
Ooh, this is turning into a slow start here in the second half. Seems like they left that offense in the locker room.
White the pass to DeRozan. And DeRozan throws it down.
You never have to worry about DeRozan going soft. I mean, when he gets inside, he's taking it strong to the rack.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here.
It's common to see wing players improve their perimeter shooting in the league, but DeMar DeRozan's most striking growth has been his ball handling and playmaking. He's been dynamic with the ball in his hands.
And the Spurs making a change here. Mills is checked in.
And checking out numbers for DeRozan. He's been in good form here the last few weeks, putting up about 18 points per, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. Even though his numbers have been more than solid, I think he'll want to step his game up to another level.
Yeah, and you know, on paper, those numbers are terrific. Most players would be thrilled with those numbers, but as good as they are, I know this guy expects more of himself.
Greg DeRozan watching a ton of films of guys like Andre Miller and Sam Cassell operating in the pick and roll.
Not only that, Kevin, to strengthen his left hand, he'd use it for daily activities like writing, leaving no stone unturned to become an expert initiator.
Harkless with the bucket.
3-point shooting since the half
has been about as good as you could ask for.
And now's the time for them to step on the gas pedal. Don't let up. Keep letting it fly from deep and build that lead. Play through the finish line, not to it. Keep the pressure on.
And Clark, ordinarily quiet by nature, LaMarcus Aldridge has become a more outspoken leader in recent years.
Yeah, and that's a good sign. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone for the good of the team. Aldridge is, by nature, a laid-back, quiet guy, and sometimes that can work against the team. But in his case, he realized that he needed to be more vocal and stepped into doing that.
That free throw good from Aldridge.
And, you know, guys, the Spurs team dinners, the stuff of legends, just building camaraderie and getting to know one another and being orchestrated with care by head coach Greg Popovich. They enjoyed the finest restaurants and great food and drink, but the fellowship and camaraderie, probably the most important part of those dinner gatherings.
And that one goes in, 2 from the line that time. And Clark, the act of getting dinner, sitting down to a meal. As a team, it brings people together.
It really does, guys, and I can't overstate it. When you get a chance to know your teammates off the court, it adds to your ability to play for them on the court. It can't always be just about grind. There has to be some compassion, some caring, some understanding, and sometimes the best places to do that are at restaurants with good food and good drink.
Clippers leading by 3. Leonard kicks to Beverly. On the wing, George. And it's sent back by Aldridge.
You know, over time, Aldridge has really developed into a pretty good shot blocker.
Carroll passes to Gay. Solid play in the low block, and that one's good. Gay's got 9.
Watch out now. When this guy gets into a rhythm, it is something to behold.
Passes it to George. Whistle blows. Bucket is good, and he'll have a chance at the line to make it a 3-point play.
Yeah, it's really hard to distract Paul George when he goes into a shot. I mean, even though the defense is there and made the obvious foul, doesn't seem to bother him.
Hurdle, he's checked in for San Antonio. And a switch here also for the Clippers. JaMychal Green, he's checked in for Leonard. Throw good, Paul George.
And George has learned a lot and I think continues to evolve as a leader. He relishes the chance to deliver for this team.
Now here is Pirtle, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Now here's Bellinelli, guarded closely. Shot clock at 5. Gay, that's a 2-pointer. Drops one in from the wing. Gay's got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, that jump shot's been Gay's go-to shot since he was a young fella. He's knocked down more than his share of those for sure.
Here's George. He's got 12. And Harrell slams it in.
And you could see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other.
And I tell you what, guys, that's a big play to make in a close game. Potential momentum builder there.
Here's Gay. After the basket by Montrezl Harrell. Gay right side. And blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Here's Shamet. And he dunks it down.
The D just kind of stepping aside and letting him get to the rim.
There's a reason, GA, the lead is what it is right now.
You know, you look at it, the communication is lacking, as is the trust. They can ill afford those types of breakdowns. It won't work. You can't win with those kind of breakdowns.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. The Italian Marco Bellinelli, one of the league's best sharpshooters, and Greg very comfortable shooting on the move.
He always seems to be floating one way or the other on his shot. It wouldn't work for most shooters, but he uses it to evade the D.
And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Clippers?
From mid-range, it's been a very nice game for them. I mean, they've been finding the bottom of the net a lot.
And you've always heard of guys being in a zone shooting, but you can be in a zone passing the basketball, and we've seen that tonight as well.
He's off on the first.
Bellinelli, a very intelligent guard who helps space the floor with his three-point shooting.
Murray's checked in for the Spurs. And then for the Clippers, Rodney McGruder comes in for JaMychal Green, and it's Williams in for Patrick Beverley. So he comes up empty, missing both.
And the Spurs, I've heard it said, the most process-oriented team in the league.
Well, that's an understanding of what it takes for them as a small market team to be successful. A good assessment of what they have to do as the San Antonio Spurs to be good. Scouting, coaching, chemistry, all part of that.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, guys, one of the things that the NBA has been forward-thinking about is always accepting new ideas. And they've got a bunch of them on the table in recent weeks. A mid-season tournament, a postseason play-in tournament, maybe even reducing the 82-game regular season schedule. Now, all of these would be very bold moves, but Commissioner Adam Silver has always demonstrated a willingness to think outside the box. Kevin?
PA, great assessment, good report, thank you so much. Now here's Murray. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. And it's Murray with the jam.
Boy, Murray showing you he can play above the rim. This guy's got major bounce as he punched that one down.
And here's George for three. It's good from long range. George has got 11 points in the quarter.
Monster quarter for him. He's put the team on his back, trying to carry them to the W.
Now here's Bellinelli. He's covered by Shamet. And there's the pass to Pirtle. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Williams with the ball. Now guarded by Murray. Williams against Murray. Williams looking around. A shot off that time. Good work defensively by Gay. Carroll finds Pirtle. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Here's Gay. From the wing. No good off the back of the rim.
Boy, you've got to be there defensively. I mean, that's an easy mid-range jumper that he'll typically drain. Boy, you got to be in awe of what he's doing this quarter, actually destroying the opponent.
Spurs trail by 7. Murray outside. Pass to Gay. Dishes it to Bellinelli. Takes the three. Rebound by Harrell. Harrell's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. Well, the undrafted Rodney McGruder, Greg, has earned his way into the NBA.
It was 25 by the time of McGruder's rookie season. Has spent some time overseas and in the G League, but he's improved his game and has kind of carved out a spot here in the league.
The first one falls. Derek White's checked in for Damari Carroll. And the Clippers making a change here. Second free throw, no good.
Well, the shot repertoire of Jakob Pirtle, mostly 10 feet and in is his strength. He's an old-school big man in every sense of the word, but efficient in what he does.
Clippers leading by 6. Pass to George. Here's Mann. The shot's good on the assist by George.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
And Clark at 7 feet tall. Pirtle a live body in there.
He's live, and he's also no stiff, guys. Pirtle can catch and finish. He's active in defending. Gets off the ground quickly and easily. I like his package as a big guy.
And here is Los Angeles now, following the bucket by the Spurs. Here's George. Gay with the block.
Gay using his reach and bounce to perfection to block the shot.
Murray outside. Pass to Bellinelli. Kicks it to White. From downtown, it's hauled in by the Clippers. The pass to Mann. Here's Magruder. He's covered by Murray. 51 seconds left here in the third quarter. Gay against George. Shoots off the step back. Rebound by Murray. And so it's Murray who brings the ball up for the San Antonio Spurs. They trail by 6. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Here's Williams following the bucket by the Spurs. Pass to Mann. A rebound by the Spurs. Murray's got 4 rebounds now tonight. He dishes it to Gay. Good. Gay's got 6 here in this quarter.
And we're seeing some great ball movement out of this group, guys.
Here's George. He's got 17. Shoots. No good. 3 quarters of play in a close game here. The Clippers on top, up 2. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
And they'd love to see every possession end this way. True team basketball.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter. On the floor for San Antonio, Trey Lyles out there at DeRozan. Then there's LaMarcus Aldridge. Then it's White, and it's Forbes in at the shooting guard. Now here's Williams, following the miss by DeRozan. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
And wow, you just have to love the motor on Montrezl Harrell when he's on the floor. Great on the glass, and he just plays with such a fire.
The first free throw is good. And with Harrell, you can see how his energy spreads to the rest of the team.
Reminds me a bit of what Fareed used to bring to teams. Harrell is also undersized, but boy, he makes up for it in so many ways.
And both free throws good for Harrell.
And done a much better job from the line this half. They've gotten that percentage up over 80 for the game.
DeRozan against Leonard, and shot on the way. And it's DeRozan missing.
Or the defense refusing to give up anything easy. Love seeing that kind of intensity.
Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. It's on LaMarcus Aldridge.
That was simply a matter of the quickness of Williams causing that foul. We'll see if he can cash in at the line.
Greg, I'm just so impressed with the level of finesse and craftiness that Lou Williams always plays with.
And Kevin, you don't stay a perennial Sixth Man of the Year candidate at Williams' age without having more than a few tricks up your sleeve. He's so good in tight spaces and can find a way to get a shot up where others just have to kick it out.
They throw good, Lou Williams.
Kevin, we always talk about it. I mean, those second-round picks who turn out to be gems, no one thought Williams would end up at the free throw line as much as he does.
And Williams drops them both.
And one difference this have is that when they get to the line, they're converting.
Taken away by Williams. And even 3-on-3 break. Loads it up there for Harrell. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. Here is Forbes on the wing to Rosen. And Forbes kicks to DeRozan. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the rejection by Harrell.
Yeah, that's another miss for him. They're behind in this game largely because he shot so poorly.
Basket good. Harkless has got the lead up to 8 now for the Clippers.
Excellent activity and timing on the offensive glass. That's how you get extra possessions.
Pass to Wiles. Now Aldridge, defended by Harkless. Aldridge, good.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
Old school D right there, just telling them no easy layups. It's as simple as that. And that's what you expect from them.
That's good from Harkless. Patrick Beverly, he's checked in for Los Angeles. And so he makes both from the line. And we're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter now. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And this is what the schedule looks like for the Clippers. On Sunday, they'll be facing Steven Adams and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then on Wednesday, they'll be facing off against DeMarcus Cousins and the Los Angeles Lakers.
And, you know, nobody loves playing on the road, but it does offer a good chance to see exactly what your team is made of. This team is going to find out a lot about itself over the next stretch of games.
Now here's White. Kawhi Leonard unable to get his shot to go. Passes it to Forbes. Lyles with it. 5 to shoot. Aldridge kicks to Lyles. 3-pointer. DeRozan's shot is off.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets yanked soon. I mean, that's how bad his shot selection has been.
Beverly with the ball. The pass to Harkless. There's the triple. Rebounded by the Spurs. Forbes has got his 4th rebound in this one. Pass to White. Lyles with it, defended by George. Here's Aldridge, and he drops in the layup off the glass.
And you like to see since the half now, he's finally starting to come around.
Clippers leading by 6. Look at the clock, a little under 3.5 minutes gone here in the fourth. Leonard. And it's sent back by Aldridge. Right wing. Outside DeRozan. Fires the three. Good on the triple. Now it's just a 3-point Clipper lead.
Nothing to think about there with DeRozan. I mean, the quick trigger, just catch it and shoot it.
To the paint, here's Leonard. It counts, and the foul. That one on DeRozan.
Really hard to count how many of their possessions have ended just like that one, with one of his shots falling.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to end the possession, though, and it's the reason this game is coming down to the wire. I mean, his touch from outside and from the field in general has been superb.
Zubac is checked in for Harrell. Spurs trail by 6. Now White, pass to Forbes. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. And so he hits the technical free throw. Here's Aldridge, down low. Here's DeRozan. And Harkless pulls it down. Harkless has got his 5th rebound in this one.
Oof, rough game offensively. He's really struggled and really probably why they're trailing.
And it's sent back by Aldridge. Floats one. No good that time. George looking around. Pass to Zubac. Tries from 10. And that one goes long. Spurs trail by 5. Forbes dishes to White. On the wing, DeRozan. Defended by George.
Well, guys, we've seen DeRozan. He's got tremendous bounce, and when he's airborne, not only is he up high, he's strong while he's in the air, too. Really special.
Now, here's Beverly. Now the pass to Zubac. Now, here's Leonard. Just 5 to shoot. Back to Zubac. Here's Harkless. It's deflected, and there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time.
Boy, in a game this snug, you can ill afford to commit those kinds of turnovers.
San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from 3-point range here in the 4th. Outside DeRozan. Outside Aldridge. Outside White. And oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. Beverly for 3. And again, no good by the Clippers.
Not his best game, but they're still getting it done collectively.
Forbes the pass to DeRozan. Now, here's Lyles, defended by George. And White kicks to DeRozan. At the elbow, it's Aldridge. And the rejection by Zubac. And he gets it back. Offensive rebound. And the shot goes in. And now just a 1-point Clipper lead.
Boy, I like the work Aldridge did there. Good hustle. Nice job getting good position.
And the Clippers call time here. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, and his performance has been a jaw dropper. He must have been feeling great coming into the building tonight, because once he hit the court, it was all working for him. He was in a zone.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, during the last break, I heard Doc Rivers talking with his team. This is still a close game, and he told his guys, we're not far away. We can still get this one. If we seize the moment, we can walk away with the win, guys.
Now, here's Zubac to take the lead. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And Beverly kicks to George. George double-teamed. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. And here is Los Angeles now. Harkless finds Leonard. Here's George. Hits the difficult fadeaway jumper. George has got 19 points.
You know, he was a non-factor in that first half, but now he's making up for lost time.
Right the pass to Aldridge. There's the dish to Forbes. Shot clock at 6. Tipped away. From deep. He's off on that one. So the Clippers will take it the other way.
You know, his scoring efficiency has been low, and it's not helping them on the scoreboard.
George against Aldridge. And George kicks to Harkless. Pass to Zubac. Fades away. And the shot goes in. And the Clippers lead by 5.
Obviously, a mix-up defensively on that possession.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Here's DeRozan. He gets that one. DeRozan's got 7 points here in this quarter.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Well, listless and lifeless at the defensive end. I mean, especially inside. They've really got to pick up that interior defense.
Now here's Leonard. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 4 assists now tonight.
Yes, and how about the unselfishness? Paul George has no problem sharing the ball.
White finds Aldridge. DeRozan against Leonard. Outside DeRozan. Out left of the wing. Outside White. No good with the triple. Clippers leading by 5. Over in the corner, Beverly. Off target from three-point range.
Yeah, you know, he hasn't contributed well scoring the ball, but obviously his teammates have.
The wide open look here for DeRozan. No good on the triple.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Here's George. Good work there as it goes. Now it's a 7-point Clipper lead.
Boy, when George is this aggressive with his offense, it's a sight to behold when he gets rolling. Just get out of the way and let him have the marquee.
Now here's White. And Forbes has it in the corner. Offline with his 3. And so it's Leonard with it. He'll bring it up for the Clippers. It's hauled in by Lyle. San Antonio's gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. Rosen dishes to White. Inside, here's Aldridge. Hits the layup after the sweet pump fake to freeze the D. Aldridge has got 8 points here in this quarter.
And no accident that Aldridge is the player they go to in the clutch. When they need a bucket, he comes up with big points.
Here's Leonard, and Kawhi Leonard with the slam.
Just Mr. Reliable again here today, Kevin. I mean, they need his points, and he's producing.
Right the pass to Aldridge. And the rejection by Zubac. Now, here is George. There's 1:26 left in the fourth. Pass to Leonard. The three. Rebounded by the Spurs. Aldridge has got 5 rebounds tonight. Out of bounds, the Clippers take possession. San Antonio making a switch here. Murray's checked in. Los Angeles leading by 7. And here's Beverly. 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Off with the layup.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
Now here's Murray. Aldridge, the pass to Murray. 4 on the shot clock. Here's DeRozan. Great D that time from Leonard. And guys, they can just sit on the ball here if they want to.
They have earned this win.
Wiles against Beverly. So the Clippers with the win. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building kind of rooting against you, but they stood tall and pulled it out.
Well said. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where's your team's attitude right now?
Continue to play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. See you later.